Hello, my name is Greg Dixon from Tell Your Story Productions. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about creating video with nothing more than the phone that you have in your pocket. So this is an iPhone 10. We also have an iPhone 6 here. You probably have a whole drawer full of of videos as you've moved on, and everything from the iPhone 6 on to current phones and also the other manufacturers have all had pretty amazing video cameras and still cameras built in. So you can take perfectly good video with the phone. And in some ways, there's a lot of intelligence built into the phone and they make sense. I'm shooting this video here using a $6,000 Sony NX cam. And we sometimes use the phone and another camera when we're shooting. And there are times when the phone is just smarter than the Sony. It just does the lighting better. What it doesn't do that well is most of the phones up to the 11 did not handle distance well. So if you were off in the distance, so you really needed to be fairly close to your subject model. But other than that, it did an amazing job. So, and it also does a pretty good, amazing work with just simply using the microphone that's in it. If you're fairly close to the phone and you can get good audio with the phone as well as good image. So that's a tip. If you're in a noisy environment or you're outside, it's windy, you probably need to do something else. But if you're in a controlled environment with a good background, good natural lighting, you can get some very good results. The next thing you might consider doing is having a tripod, because although I've seen lots of people doing selfies, it's almost impossible to hold it, but you can get a friend to hold your phone and shoot it. And that can work in a pinch. Like if you just get inspired to do a little segment and you're in the middle of somewhere and so you can just get out the phone and do it on the spot, then you can take it in and edit it later. The next thing you might add is a tripod like this. So you can get a taller tripod or something that just sits on the table. It holds it steady. It's almost impossible for you to hold the phone steady on your own, but that can help greatly. The other thing you can do for the audio is you can add on a microphone. So we have a couple of things here. This is an iKey Multimedia HD2 mic, and it has adapters so you can plug it into your computer. Makes a really good podcast mic, makes very good for using Zoom, but it also has an adapter so you can plug it into the phone. And there are a couple of, you can work, there's iKey Media has its own app, or it will simply work with the voice recorder, the voice memo, I think it's called, on the Apple device, and the results are very good. We use it sometimes, it comes with a little stand, so on the desk we have it on a stand, but we will also go out in the field and we will use it as a interview mic, so hello, hey Bob, what are you doing now? And then you hold it over and the other person talks. So as long as you keep reasonable distance between the two, it can help a lot. So those are two things that you can use within the phone. There's one more item that we acquired recently, which this is a Tascam, and there are a lot of companies that make similar devices. It's a little audio recorder, and it has a sort of lapel mic. You can put it up through your shirt, stick it to your shirt, and record audio. And this is really good for going outside. So you can position it in your shirt, and you can probably, if you nestle it in so it's not really exposed to the wind, we're going to get a little windsock for it to help as well. But if you can wire somebody up, so you can kind of do things run and gun, and you record the audio on this, and you also record the audio on your camera or multiple cameras. And later you'll need to put it together with software, but it's not that difficult if you have the right software, and it can really add. We do a lot of interviews. We go out and interview various people in the field for one of our projects is the natural health movement, and we interview people like Patricia Bragg, who were instrumental in bringing the process forward. And so we always try to have a plan A, B, and C as far as audio goes. So we will use this in the future in addition to the microphone that we tend to use. Right now we have a boom mic, so we have quite a lot of gear that we're using. But my point here is you don't need that to get going. You can get going with just what you have with your phone. And so we've gone through, just to summarize, you can start with just your phone, with the audio, with the microphone that's built into it. You can hand hold if you don't have a tripod. Tripod can help stabilize it quite a bit. That's a good investment. And a microphone to help with the sound also can help. And as we said before, we use a microphone like this, which is iKey Multimedia HD mic, and it can with this model here can plug into a desktop, an Apple or Windows machine, and also into a phone. And there are many other similar items like this available at sometimes at a music store or Best Buy, London Drugs, or Amazon. Everything's available on Amazon. The other thing that I would say about that you could add to your mix is some lighting. So there are a number of lighting things available, and this here was a relatively low cost. This was like $62. Got it from Amazon. And one of the things is lighting can be a bit of a challenge, because if you have something that's too bright and too intense, it can cause more troubles than it solves here. This one here, it has a relatively soft light, and you can see like sometimes, and this is small enough that can mount right on top of like a camera, a DSLR camera or larger camera, and we've got it on a tripod here so you can position it. So I have it, I carry it with me at all times, just in case you've got, the lighting is not ideal, and so you just want to fill in a little bit, and this is a nice soft light for that purpose. While I'm talking about lighting, my preference is for natural lighting as much as possible, and sometimes if you have a room, if you're careful with where you sit, where you position yourself, you can get very good results. So, for example, make sure there isn't a window behind you, because that will cause trouble. And sometimes if there's light glaring straight in your eyes, that also can be a problem too. So just basically, if you have somebody sit in various places, if it's not going to be you on camera, it's them, and just experiment with how it is. And if you need a little bit more additional light, then there are low-cost options like this LED light that I showed you. And also, I guess I have to say that you can get some interesting solutions at Home Depot. So we have one of our clients did some video on their own, because we were 3,000 miles away. And so they happen to have a big, massive halogen shop light, which puts out an awful lot of light, but it's pretty harsh. So I suggested that they need to soften it with something, with a cloth. And so what they did is they put some parchment paper over the front of it, and then the other strategy is to bounce the light off a ceiling or off a wall rather than directly at the person on camera. So just so it's not blinding them, and also the light is a little bit softer. So you can come up with inexpensive solutions.